The final trailer for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice has arrived, and DC All Access is here to weed through the footage to see what more we can learn before the movie hits theaters on March 25th. Look, up in the sky, it's a Batwing. In the comics, the earliest version of a Batwing appeared in Detective Comics number 31 in 1939. It looked like a giant bat with a propeller, so it was called a Bat Gyro. The name changed to the Batplane in Batman number 1, and over time it became known as the Batwing. And it's awesome.
Master Wayne. Thermal imaging is showing me 24 hostiles on the 3rd floor.
Alfred looks pretty high-tech here as he seemingly remote controls the Batwing. He debuted in the comics in Batman number 16 in 1943, and over the years, we've learned that Alfred is versed in computer programming and engineering. Plus, in various versions of his backstory, he served in the Royal Air Force, Royal Marines, and the British Army's Special Air Service.
Why don't I drop you off on the 2nd?
Batman bursts through the floorboards here to beat down a bunch of bad guys. Classic Batman badassery. This whole scene has a mesmerizing fluidity that we haven't seen before in a Batman film. I guess we don't have to worry about Batman's movement being limited by his suit. Plus, this suit is apparently knife resistant, so Bruce is well protected. In some versions of Batman's suit in the comics, like The Dark Knight Returns and Shadow of the Bat symbol on his chest is surrounded in yellow to draw gunfire to the thickest part of his armor and away from his unprotected head and body. Ouch.
I'm getting slow in my old age, Alfred.
Even you got too old to die young, not for lack of trying.
Ooh, sick burn, Alfred. Oh look, a meteor shower.
Entire human race. If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
In Batman's debut in Detective Comics number 27, he drove an ordinary red car, and the name Batmobile wasn't applied to his vehicle until Detective Comics number 48 in 1941. The classic dark body and bat-like finishes first showed up in Batman number 5.
God versus man.
Bumper cars, anyone?
Day versus night.
By now, we're used to seeing Jesse Eisenberg's Lex with hair, even though most people associate Lex Luthor with a bald head. But Lex has had hair in the comics as well, especially in the early days of the Mad Genius. In the classic Adventure Comics number 271, a fire breaks out in Luthor's lab and Superboy uses his super breath to put it out. In the process, he accidentally spills chemicals that cause Lex to go bald. Luckily, Luthor can pull off both looks.
You're psychotic.
Aside from being an extreme fire hazard, you can see that the flaming gas pumps say Gotham City Gas, so Batman might have a bit of a home field advantage here.
That is a 3-syllable word for any thought too big for little minds.
Here's Clark Kent causing a huge mess and jumping into a bathtub fully clothed. We're guessing this is not going to turn into the origin story of Lois and Clark's son from the comics, who was born during Convergence in 2015. You know what they say about Superman? Faster than a speeding grenade. Check out that boot. It reminds us of the design from The Dark Knight Returns and can probably cause a concussion with a single kick to the head.
I've known a few women like you.
Oh, I don't think you've ever known a woman like me.
Great to hear Wonder Woman's voice here. Wonder Woman is, of course, the most famous female superhero in the DC pantheon, and one of her most notable comic book runs began with George Perez's Wonder Woman number 1 in 1987. Who's going to save Lois Lane when she's underwater? Lois isn't Superman's only love interest in the comics, but she is definitely the most iconic. And she debuted right alongside the Man of Steel in Action Comics number 1 in 1938.
Do you know the oldest lie in America?
Hold it. This post-apocalyptic landscape looks incredible, and our eye goes right to the giant Omega symbol burned onto the ground. And in the comics, the Omega symbol is associated with Darkseid.
I wonder what that means.
That power can be innocent.
Well, that looks like bad news for Superman. We can't wait to find out. Hashtag, who will win? That's our breakdown of the trailer, and make sure you guys enter the Batman v Superman sweepstakes for your chance to win one of 2 awesome prize packs worth over $500. To find out all the details, head over to dccomics.com/whowillwin. See you tomorrow. I want to win. Can I win?
First time too, right?